Well, it's been a while. How long has it been? 2 months. Amazing. Is it really 2 months? 2 months since I've released a video. Well, I've squeezed out some shorts here and there, but it's hard to find the time to record and edit with my life the way that it currently is. So I just can't churn out videos the way that I'd like to. Quite a lot has happened in the last couple months, and to be honest, I've been having more fun than I thought that I would be, which is part of the reason why there hasn't been episodes. I started the game when 1.0 came out, made enough content for the first couple episodes, and then was so severely hooked. It didn't take long into playing the game before I was having so much fun playing it that it was becoming difficult to juggle playing the game and editing episodes for YouTube. So I decided to just embrace the game and enjoy it and just play it. So while it has been a couple months since I've created any videos, in the meantime I have been learning how to play this game properly and getting better at it. This video is going to be kind of like a rundown of what happened in between completing phase 2, which we still haven't completed phase 3, by the way. It's been 2 months. We're still in phase 3. So what happened in between completing phase 2 and where we are today? The things that I've built, the things that I've planned. It's not going to be anything crazy. There's no script or anything. We're just going to run through the saves all the way down to the beginning. So we did this. We started the game, got past phase 1. We did some, coal power. Up here? No. Oh, post phase 1, pre-phase 1. I was reading that only as phase 1. So we are literally here. 9 hours of playtime duration. For reference, if you look at what's happened in the last couple months, most recent is currently 385 hours. So there's been some things that have happened in between now or between then and now. You can say that I've been having so much fun playing this game that I haven't even properly been able to come up with YouTube videos. I didn't even realize that it had been 2 months. It's insane. All right, let's go into where we were. Here we are. We have just completed. No, we're about to complete phase 2. What? No, we are in complete phase 2. Completing phase 2. I am confused. What did we do? So it turns out there was a bit of a naming error in my last episode, and it says completing phase 2, even though I completed phase 1 in the episode, not phase 2. So where we left off is post phase 1. So here we are. Did we just complete phase 1? We just completed phase 1. Phase 2 is loaded up, ready to go. What we got going on here? We got one assembler. We got some power underneath, some biomass burners, being on a ramp. Oh yes, it's Fixmas as well, so presents are falling from the sky. Wonderful. Got a little concrete setup, grabbing from here and over there. Iron from underneath. Everything's moving pretty slow. This is just what it looked like right when we completed phase 1. I got copper over here. Really all that's happened that's important is that the spot that we're building has been kind of designated. All right, moving on. Move on. I just scroll down every time. Wish you could flip it. Post concrete, pre-coal power. Post concrete. All right. Oh yeah, it's snowing because it's fixes. I don't know if that stays, but whatever. Okay, so concrete has been unlocked, and you can see I've started to kind of mull around with some architecture ideas. I've decided this using foundations for this pillar idea is ideal. That's what we're doing. Got a Santa hat on it. We still got power down here. We still got minor Mark 1s. Still pretty basic. It's just concrete has happened, and we're starting to deal with that. Post coal power. So now coal, the power has been upgraded. Okay, down here, let's fix this. Pause. Go up here first. So at this point, the base has been completely concrete-ified, mostly. No, put that away. Nothing is running. It looks like I just shut everything off, and I was using the surplus to build the new power plant. Because I just said screw it to biomass and just let it run out. It's still wearing down a little bit. All right. But nothing is running right now for whatever reason. Looks like not much has changed in the factory front, but we are now running on coal power down here with a very temporary, very sloppy put together factory that I kind of sort of started to decorate with like some sort of architecture, and then just kind of gave up. So it's very basic and not very optimal. These not overclocked, nothing. It's just 8? Yeah, it's 16. 16 coal power generators from 4 nodes over here. Yep. What was this? At one point was this? Which was 10 hours. It took 10 hours to get this far from where we were. To get the concrete and the coal power generator. It took me 10 hours to get distracted and run around. Post coal. Pre-demo post. That's going to be nothing. Pre-demo start base is not going to be anything. Post is going to be something that's happened. So post start base demo before the new base is built. So what I've done now at 26 hours, some time has gone by, some stuff has happened, probably some exploring and whatnot, but I've moved everything up here. It's all just in these containers with the hub up here out of the way. And like, that's literally it. There's the power is down there and the materials to build, and we're ready for the clean slate for a new idea. And then the starter base parking lot save, meaning that I just parking lotted the place. So here with the exact same spot, exact same setup, but I have put foundations and walls all over everything. Actually, when you fly around up here, you can actually see that there's a little bit of a difference. There's like an actual rotation to the asphalt block. I don't think I ever paid attention to the fact that there's a line halfway through it. There's this line right here, and that line can face different directions, resulting in that. Ew. Well, this is an old save, so the OCD will just have to be aware of that. If you what the presents make sound. Okay. Yes, thank you. So this is pretty self-explanatory. It's just been set up with walls and foundations to begin the new base. Post concrete plant. Made a concrete plant. What is this at? Load. Post concrete plant at 30 hours, exactly. So I made this because obviously I'm using lots of concrete. So the first thing that I need to do is replenish the concrete. That's the first thing that was made. And it grabs the node from underneath where it's sitting and the node from over there, and it makes this concrete plant. Looks like I've made a new floor here, designated this the kind of like the bottom level. I do like how it sits flush with the top, these two tops, how they're the same. So you can start to see there's some sort of structure that has begun, and I learned to make curves. This was the first curve that I did. This was a bit of an adventure. I learned to do this manually, and then I made a macro that does them very quickly. And now there's a mod for it, so you don't even need to know anymore. Okay, that's that though. We've got power, basic infrastructure, concrete engine. I think this was still very early in the game, and I was excited about clipping things together. Oh, let's fix this. Yep. All right, yep. This was the very first concrete engine that I made. Engine just meaning that it's a whole bunch of machines and belts and things that are compiled and wrapped, compressed together in a small area and encased in a housing of some sort. But this was pre-mods, so there's no infinite nudge or modded buildables or anything. This is just completely vanilla at this point. So we got weird things that aren't lining up properly because we don't have the. I mean, at this point you can use the beam trick, but I don't know if I knew that at this point. We got blueprints now, so it doesn't even matter. That's all that's happened there. This has just been tidied up, sort of. It's not a complete structure yet, so it just is what it is. Moving on. That was 1 hour that we just went on. Also, immediately, I put down smart plate assemblers. Why was this a significant save? Okay, so this is something that I had decided for what this factory will function as. And it was to make the space elevator parts, starting with the smart plating and then moving on to other things. I can't remember exactly what my thought process was at this point, but I think I know for as far as these is I was going to put an assembler here with their previous assembler steps behind it. And then next to them was going to go an engine that would provide whatever it needed. So this one was going to have, there would be an iron plate engine right here that would provide the iron plates for these three. And it would just take in raw from underneath. Same with this one. This would have its own iron plate engine that I think makes 90 per minute, if all these are the same. And they would just continue to do that until all the raw resources underneath were exhausted, because there's a whole bunch of, there's 4, I think, nodes under here. 2, 3, 4, that are all pure iron nodes. And so those were used to supply above, and everything was melted and manufactured on the spot. Rods, screws, everything would have machines on the side here. It didn't end up working. You'll see, we'll just end up deleting it anyway, but that's what's going on. This was all the process of me learning kind of what the boundaries were. Not necessarily what you're allowed to do in the game, but what's a good idea. The game kind of has its own wisdom, knowing what to do in the future, what to do for the future. Oh yeah, smart plate assemblers. And I went on a slug hunt. I don't need to load that because that's just stuff that happened out in the wilderness. But Smart Plate Factory part 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's see what these are. Part 1. Welcome back. Would you stop? Okay, yeah, it's just in chunks. So this is the engine that's started here. I think this is the iron plates that it needs, and it makes them for here, or it makes them for this. I think that doesn't need iron plates. It just needs reinforced. It needs the output from these makes these. So this doesn't actually need anything from over here. This just grabs the outputs from these. This needs iron plates and screws, which is exactly what's happening here. These are those machines, the engines on the inside. They're open underneath, so they're accessible by the logistics floor, right through the floor, and then they're just cased, wrapped in like some kind of casing. I can make way better ones now with the mod stuff that I have. I'm running 61 mods currently. Okay, so there's that so far. Moving on, part 2. These were like supposedly going to be laid out as episodes, and I got too wrapped up with playing the game to worry about episodes, and I just chose not to worry about it. I'm going to enjoy the game, and then that's it. It's been 2 months now, and I'm still like obsessed with it. Like it's time to go back to doing things. And the burnout for this game it's way out there, I guess. I don't know. It's a good game. I usually lose interest by now. You can see I have started to put all sorts of engines together. These all do, are they doing screws? What am I doing here? Why? This is such an odd way. It's screws. It's because of my limited belts. I got Mark II belts and Mark I belts. Yep. This is miserable, but this is what was happening. Part 3. But nothing changed. Oh, I got one over here now. Yep. Man, it does look kind of cool, but it's not expandable. It's not efficient. It's just kind of is. Part of the learning process. Learning why this isn't really the way that you do this. Anything underneath? Truck? We've got the iron coming in. They're all laid out. I have figured this out. So these nice channels that go up the wall. I had invented kind of some sort of architecture thing. No copper coming in yet, just iron. Very small. Very careful. But what are we on for hours now? That was 42 hours at this point. Post hub move. We're going to skip that pre-steal thing because I don't want to. Pre is not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in post, after things have happened. So the hub, I decided to move up to the top of this little thing, which is where it stayed. Even to this day, it's still here on this rock right here. I like it. I like the spot. You can see everything, get to it, and it's too small for any reason. You can't put anything there. It's perfect for the hub. Just a little spot. How did the floor end up like that? It's weird. Yep. All right, not a lot to see here now. This is the hub has been moved. The end. Hub is over here now. The power has been moved. Okay, post move power. Okay, I've started to seal these other engines. I think I did not finish that. I think I just gave up on it because I knew that they weren't going to stay. I've got biomass burners making a tiny little bit of steel here, just a little bit off to the side so I can get stuff going. If not anything, then just handcrafting. And we've got biomass happening down here to power the steel for some reason. But yeah, the most important thing that has happened in this point, which where are we now in hours? Post move power is at 65 hours. So the coal plant down here is gone because it is up there now. Do I have a flight is pretty slow. Do I have a thing? I don't. We're just gonna have to head over there. So there it is. Still using coal power. I have moved the coal power plant from using the 4 down there, 4 normal ones, to the 3 pure ones up here, which is more coal. The building isn't extravagant. I did start to experiment with some kind of things here, but the building is very basic. It's just a box. Taking advantage of the water pools and the coal nodes here. And it's actually a weird ratio. It's 3 lines that go in and then spread each between 4. There's 3 manifolds in there that spread between these equally, and then each one has the amount of water and everything that it needs. Kind of loud in here, but it works. You can see I spent like a tiny little bit of effort on the building, but it's weird. It's a weird setup doing it this way. Stuff like this wouldn't fly nowadays. So yeah, that's what we moved on to. Post move power, free smart plate, free central storage, central rework with quartz. Central rework. I think central rework was when I started to realize that the layout for the middle with the engines is just not going to work. And I decided to lay it out in a different way. Yes, that is exactly what I did. I deleted everything, moved it all up there, and started again in a different layout. And I believe I just added, I'm not sure what I did here. I think I was making just the basic storage to build with. And I said, okay, iron plates, let's make some iron plates, good, store. Make some rods, store them, good. Make some screws, store them. And that's it. It was just like, get some stuff down. Very basic, everything's being smelted and everything on the spot. There's a logistics layer. Whoa, it's bright. A little bit of iron, a little bit of copper, and now we got quartz coming in. And quartz is actually coming in. This was a big project. Quartz is coming in all the way. What? All the way from over here. Obviously something has happened with the power, but yeah, there's 2 quartz nodes over here. And then they are just belted all the way back. I decided to belt them because at this point, I don't think that I was either familiar or had unlocked. No, I had tractors. I just didn't want to set it up, I don't think. I was just like, whatever. It's kind of at the very edge of close enough to be belted over, and I just went with it. So quartz is coming in now, all the way to here. So this makes it so we can make windows. All right. Okay, so we'll load up Criterium next. So next up, oh yeah, the hyperspeed. I'm using Akila's new mod, the fly mod, Andre's mod. Which one? Just fly Redux. This one. Redo? Redux? I don't know. Yeah. Thank you, Andre, for your many contributions to the modding community. Half of our mods are all yours. Anyway, the only thing that's changed between the last save was now I've added Criterium. The Criterium is coming in from over here, which I had to unlock. What the stone is back. That's weird. Yeah, this is blocked off by this rock, clearly. So you have to blow it up to get this here, but somehow the rock returned. So not sure. That all the way over there, and it slithers on in, meets up with the quartz, and it's just its own little container. And it's just a collection of materials that I can build with. That's all that is. Next up, post central rework sinks. What is this? Central rework sinks. No, we don't need that. Oh, that's even better. It hides the hands. Oh, that's so good. Okay. Okay, so the next thing that I added was the overflow for everything into sinks. So we got a sushi belt clogged up over here, working poorly. That's awesome. Things are slow, but they're moving. They're going. All right, that's it. Moving on. Post central steel. So it sounds like I got steel set up now somehow. Oh, I'm over here at the coal power plant. I have now set up, or is this already set up? This was set up already. The SAM ore, or the SAM ore, the SAM. Yeah, this was set up already. The SAM mine. Not working yet though. This is one of the first things. One of the next things that's happened. This is new for this save. Okay. Anyway, so what we got going on here? So now we got steel set up. Steel here, making steel beams with actual steel from the foundries, and then it looks like it's using the iron ingot to alternate the iron pipe recipe to make steel pipes and just keep a container of them, and that's it. The coal and iron for that steel come up this giant item elevator that goes over from where the coal power plant used to be taking its coal from. Now this coal, and now additionally this iron up here, is being taken and turned into steel. And that is a lot of like the basic things that you need to build mostly everything, all the basic stuff. The idea is to use these containers full of all these goodies to build the next serious piece of whatever. And then you keep upscaling and upscaling. All right, moving forward. We're getting closer now. Post Central SAM. I already had SAM set up. Maybe it's on and working now. Okay, yeah. What's snowing? Is it on? Yes, the truck is running. So there's a truck that picks up. We'll start at the beginning here, because now there's power run over here. There's a miner that picks up the SAM constructor that it turns it immediately into reanimated SAM, and then it's brought over here and stored at a truck station. The truck brings it back and forth. One truck, one little slow station. That's all that it is. It's very simple. Truck goes down this road and then drops it off here. And that's it. It just stores into a bin, and eventually it will get a one of these. The sink. Still got to be put on there. Looks like that's the only change that happened in this save. Moving on. Post tier 4? That's wrong. 85 hours in. I don't know what this is referring to, but we're not at tier 4. Oh, wait, tier 4 of the hub? Not phase 4, tier 4. Right. This is phase 4. Or tier 4 of the hub. We're done with the major vanilla stuff. Has anything changed? It doesn't look like it. It looks like this is all, it's just research that happened. There's now a hypertube over here. Not that it's totally needed, because now we have Andre to fly us around. Pause. Pre-demo, post-demo central. So what happened here is I decided that this still doesn't work. So I've demolished everything. I also, did I really? One big hypertube that goes from one side to the other. I was tinkering and made this. This is a learning curve is what this is. This building looks striking, but it's not functional at all. Like it's not practical. I mean, it is functional. It's got concrete. Yeah, it was made simply as an experiment project to get used to making buildings. It's a whole bunch of little learning things all over the place. So it looks cool, but it will not stay here. All that it makes is concrete. So now everything is cleared and the stage is set for another attempt. I got some hypertubes going in here. Basic infrastructure is still, I'm still at this stage where I'm like, what I've made myself here is a whiteboard. And I keep writing ideas down and then wiping it down and restarting. Eventually we'll get to a point that we're actually making something better. You can tell each one of these buildings has a little bit of progress in them. There's something that's learned with each layout, with each attempt. So where to next? Post motors. Forgot to check the time. Why is there hands now? It wasn't before. What? Why are they suddenly back? Huh, that's weird. Okay, so this is the very first that we see of what is actually still here. This is the very first. I've got a line of assemblers here, each making something different. Reinforced iron plates, modular frames, encased iron beams, AI limiters, rotors, stators, and motors. Right now, the only thing that it's making is motors, and everything is very specifically balanced and laid out just for it. There's no expansion. It's not grabbing off of a main line or anything like that. It's just this. And then the smelters to make it all happen. It brings the raw material in underneath from the mines nearby, melts it on site and moves it on over here underneath, comes up through the logistics layer, and then is manufactured and sent over here and then stored. And we're just making lots of everything. These two, I think, stators, rotors, no, these have their own rotors and stators. There's two of each, making for motors. And that's it. Moving on. What is that? That's post motors is 110 hours. So 110 hours. Here we are. And we upgrade the power. We're already here. This is I went through and upgraded the power plant here. everything now has Mark II miners and Mark III belts. So there's more water going in, and there's more generators, and they're overclocked, and I think they're overclocked. Yes, and they're overclocked, and there's more of them. So we're producing a whole lot more power, or a little bit more power, not a ton. It's just cold. I don't think anything at the base has changed yet. Just power was upgraded. Oh yeah, there's the scaffolding, the silly scaffolding. Oh no, this is new here. So I've got plates and screws that are heading over here to the assemblers, which these have been rearranged now to make sense for how these constructors are going to be laid out. And this is the beginning of that main bus that runs down the middle. So yeah, and oh yeah, these things right here are this is a terrible idea. Don't do this. But for the manufacturing for these, once these back up and they're full, this line backs up and then goes this way. I think. Oh yeah. Yeah, and these go this way and provide. No, that's not a backup. That's not true. So what happens is that this over here are calculated to provide enough screws and plates for both of these things, and they just split right here. And it splits 50-50, but this will clog up, and then the overflow will go straight forward into the modular frames. So it's making reinforced iron plates over here with the screws and plates. Reinforced iron plates come over here, and they join more plates, or rods rather. They join rods. I think that changes. I think I'm in the middle of setting this up and it's all wonky right now. So let's see where this goes. Post motors, power upgrade. That's just a temporary thing that can actually be deleted. Central base rework. This sounds like it's one of the big ones. And here we are. Look at all of this going on now. The bus is massive. It's not in its final shape yet. I eventually change it, but things are moving. We got storage bins over here filling up with dimensional depots attached to them. We're making all kinds of things. Everything is all set up and labeled and working. Looks like these have their storage and dimensional depots, and then they overflow into an awesome sink. Then over here is a line of these, which are taps that once this happens and they back up like this, the overflow goes over here and is stored into another container. So this is all the little tiny things, the basic materials, the wire and cable and plates, screws, and they're all collected by having overflow taps on all the lines, which is a terrible idea. Don't do that. Not a good idea. Here is everything being smelted on this side and then constructed over here and then sent down the bus into the middle. Oh, the Christmas presents. I started to experiment with some pillars. I think layers. The labels are going up. Colors are going up. Things are calculated. Starting to deal with the exposed logistics layer, which I really like, and my OCD labeling system that I have on everything. There's another bus underneath here that carries all the raw material underneath to the very end, because it all comes up that the item lift at the very beginning over here. So everything, these things, the iron and the coal, come up this come up the item lift, and they're joined immediately by the mines here. Everything's all labeled, brought in, and calculated as it goes down. Whoa, which is kind of like mostly what's still there right now. I haven't added a lot onto this since this was achieved, so let's see where this goes now. Central base. That's the central base rework at 184 hours. That was 120 to 180 basically. That was jumped. A post phase 2. At this point, I won't play the cinematic or anything. It's not interesting. We're not okay. So this is after the magic has already happened. There's the new thing up there, Starbase thing, which also I guess that's a thing now. This has been chosen. The spot for this has been decided. It's on this a little kind of side thing right there. Now we've made, what I did is I just made an assembler here, and I literally just manually loaded it, and it had it fully overclocked and summer slooped, and just made it and pumped it right in. Just that's it. Waited. So now we are post phase 2. We're into completing phase 3. We're working on it, which we still are today. I have not completed phase 3 yet. I think that's all that changed here. It's just that the space elevator has been added and the phase 2 has been completed. So mid-mass storage. We're gonna go another jump of 20 hours here. Yeah, there we go. Now the home as we know it is starting to take shape. I've chosen a spot for the mass storage to go. I have it way up in the air, centered over everything. I've also got this nifty thing going on where I've got the dimensional depots are alternating like every other one. So they're facing that way and this way. And you can see them up there through the grate. And they are functional. It loads into the back and then into the side, and into the back and into the side. This is actually a pretty weird setup, the way that this works. I have access to the top end up here. I've used the infinite nudge mod to place down some of these items from the decorations, the props. So instead of having just basic labels, I also have some kind of sitting around. So you can see what's what. You can open it up and get in there. That's what's in there. But the bottom half actually, and this isn't even the final, this isn't the final form. Because I haven't put in the other stuff. You'll see, I'll show you in a second here that there's more to this that isn't in yet. Cool lighting, the doors or anything aren't in here, but the basic idea of it is decided. We got this cool wall thing going on. We've got the lifts inside glass in the pillars. So it's a sealed room, but and light still comes through, sort of. What happened here? I appeared to have changed my mind about where the hub was going, and it's currently nowhere. Oh no, I did. I think I was going to try and put it up here. So I was going to try and move it. I did end up putting it back down here. So let's move on. What's the next jump? In mass storage. Just after that, early plastic. We got early plastic set up already. That's not plastic. This is very strange. This is the location that I set up plastic. This is the infrastructure, some of it. What an interesting save. Huh. I wonder why I saved this here, because this isn't done yet. Oh well, we'll have to move on. I wrote this interesting save. Oh, I see. Early plastic. This is supposed to say pre-plastic. Okay. This was actually where I was supposed to go. Okay, now here we go. A little tiny bit of plastic is now set up. Very tiny, very basic. Just some oil is coming in. It's just being jankily turned into rubber and then into plastic. All this is making plastic? Oh, yes. So that's what I have set up here is a whole bunch of plastic and a tiny bit of rubber. A bunch of fuel. That needs to go somewhere. That's not gonna work. This is just gonna back up and stop. Past me clearly didn't think this through. Let's see where it went. Pre-vertical bus remodel. We don't want to see pre-concrete demo. Yeah, we got a tiny little plastic setup here. Just doing your little basic. I just got a tiny little temporary bean managed plastic setup down here. Just taking in a little bit of crude oil. Looks like just two basic Mark I pipes coming in, turning it into plastic and rubber, a little tiny bit of fuel, and that's it. It's not even packaging anything yet. It's just down here by itself, just getting some plastic moving in while we move forward with other things. Now, there is a few more saves after this. However, I am going to end this video here. There will be another video that will be a jump ahead to this, to most recent 386 hours. We are right here at 214 hours right now. So the next video will be a base tour of everything that has happened so far. We're far enough now in this video that you can see where things are headed. So in the next video, you can see how things have changed, and we're far enough along now that it's not a big enough jump that things will just be finished looking. I spent a lot of time, like putting together little details and polishing the build a whole bunch. So there's lots of decorations and details and things everywhere that I want to save for next time. So this video was just to bring everybody up to speed for the last couple months of saves. So there you have it. Other than the final base tour, that's everything that happened in the last 2 months. Next video will be said base tour, and it's much more interesting than this. Lots to look at. Don't forget to hit that like button to help breathe some life into the channel, and subscribe if you want to follow along with more Satisfactory content. This is my first time through, and there's still a long way to go. And if you've been bit by the Satisfactory bug like I have and in gaming 30-hour days, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and may your factories thrive and enjoy your Fixmas if you're into that. Later.